Welcome to a new anime review series. This is Rosario plus Vampire. Yep, this is an adaptation of the manga series. There were two of them. First one was published from 2004 to 2007, lasting 40 chapters, and it was relaunched pretty much like not long after that as Rosario plus Vampire Season 2, and it lasted for 66 chapters plus even an epilogue. And it was written by Akashida Ikeda. Yep. Now, this series is basically, well, the anime has basically a reputation of showing off a lot of fan service, basically panty shots. Yes, there are lots of these over all the episodes. Now, I watched the English dub of this particular series, and these are the voice actors. First off, for the main character, Tatsumi Anna, voiced by my favorite dub actors, my favorite voice actors, Todd Eppicorn. Then there's the main female lead of the series, Moka Ishida, where she's got two different voice actors because she's got two different personalities. Yeah, there's this outer version, this sweet, innocent one, and there's the bloodthirsty one. Yep. And you won't believe who voices these two people. The cutesy one is voiced by Alexis Tipton. The inner one, the one who's bloodthirsty, who always tends to be very get into a fight, that's voiced by Colleen Clickenbeard. Yeah, she's one of like three voice actors. This whole entire series, actually about 3 or 4 of them actually are in this particular series, and you get a chance to hear their dub actor. And she's one of the reasons why I got into the series. Plus, also, Ed the Blue Goblin mentioned this particular series on Facebook, so I figured, though, why not check it out? And I read the original manga. I loved it. It was fantastic. And as for the anime so far, it's actually really damn good. Now, here are the other characters. You have Kamoru Karino, who is a succubus. Yes, a succubus. It's a demon, basically is known for having sex. Lots of sex. And drains men. Yep, she's voiced by Perdina Piscina. Yeah, she's noteworthy for voicing Tony Chopper from One Piece. Yeah, this woman voices Tony Chopper. You have Yuri, who is a 11-year-old girl, mind you, and she is voiced by Monica Rail. Yeah, a woman who's, I think, in her 40s. Yeah, currently she's in her 40s, but I think when the series first came out, she was probably in her late 30s when she did this. And there's a couple others. There is Mizuno, who's voiced by Tina Blair. Ruby Taggio, voiced by Leah Clark. You have, well, she's not there yet. You have Geen Maroka, voiced by Ian St. Clair. Yep, Ian St. Clair. We also have one particular voice. We also have Eric Vales in the series. Yep, he's in the series. He voiced a group of lizard men. Yeah. Who are a group of fanboys. Let's see. Was there any other ones? Well, there's also Christopher Spot. Yeah, he's in the series. Voices the gym teacher. Yeah. Now, basically, in these 13 episodes, these are the chapters that adapts of the manga. Basically, around the first half of the manga is adapted for the first season. We have chapters 1, 2, 4, and 5, and 9 to 19. Chapter 4 is a filler episode. Now, the story for this series is this. Tatsumi is accidentally enrolled in a school of monsters. And he goes there, and he's told by the creepy bus driver. Yeah, in case you're wondering, the bus driver in the anime looks exactly the way he does in the manga. Also, I gotta point out, though, the anime kind of adapts some chapters out of order. Yeah, like the first episode is chapter 1, the second episode is chapter 2, the third episode is actually chapter 5. Yep. And of course, later on, they do adapt, like a little more like 2. I think the highest they do for one episode is like 3 chapters. Now, when they introduced the succubus character, because I mean, she's introduced in episode 2, Unami is introduced in episode 3, Missouri is actually introduced in episode 7. Yep. I think it's like within like the next episode or two that we get to introduction to Ruby. Yeah, she shows up there. Though they kind of basically get the depth of the thing out of order. They add the characters who are here in these particular arcs are basically not in the arcs in the actual manga. Misery is a snow goddess who's in love with Tatsumi, and she's also a stalker. She fell in love with him through his articles he wrote for the newspaper club. Yep, they're part of the newspaper club. Before they joined the newspaper club, they were offered to join the swimming club, which Maka can't do anything with the club because the vampire has a weakness to water. And apparently it's explained that the only way she can wash herself is basically dumping herself missile herbs, then she can basically hop in the shower. That's basically where she is. Yep. Your enemy is a witch. Yep, a witch. Ruby is also a witch. And I remember the scene like in season 2 where when all 5 girls were asked what are they to Tatsumi, it is the most hilarious scene I have ever seen in a manga. Mocha says friend, Kasumi says girlfriend, Missouri says wife, Yanaki says concubine, yes, an 11-year-old girl says concubine, and Ruby says plaything, and Tatsumi is like, plaything? Yeah, when I read that, I thought that I laughed like crazy. Also, the headmaster show up in the last episode for like one scene. The guy becomes a little more relevant and much later on in the series, even the second series as well. Yeah, and over the course, a lot of these episodes tend to be like, with the exception of the last 4, like the last 3 episodes, it's all like the first, like I'd say the first 7 episodes are all standalone episodes. Each one of them is standalone. And then basically 9 and 10 is a quick 2-parter, which uses Ruby, mind you. And of course, the last few basically is the Security Council arc. The first arc of the series, which is basically taking the first 7 chapters, was not fully adapted in season 1. Nope, of the 7 chapters, they only adapted 4. Yeah, I'm not kidding. They only adapted the first 4. Yep. And how the characters, how they get introduced in the anime is pretty much how they get introduced, same way in the manga. No change there, which I'm glad the fact they didn't change it. Like, constantly, when she first showed up, she basically hypnotized Tatsumi by making out with him. And of course, having say things he really didn't mean. And of course, Inarmaka basically took her on, and Tatsumi stopped her from tearing off her wings and her tail. And yeah, she basically declared him his destiny mate, because, well, succubus. And you have a little girl, when she first showed up, she basically wanted to have a thing with Maka. An 11-year-old girl wanted to be with Maka. There's even like a brief little scene in the anime of them look like they're basically almost butt naked. I'm not kidding about this. Watch the actual anime itself. At one point in the anime, they even show Ruby in nude. Yep. Yeah, I'm not kidding about this. They've shown like about 3 or 4 characters. They don't show any like privacy parts per se. But yeah, you can definitely tell they're in the nude. Though it's a hallucination, mind you. Yes. Yeah. During the Yukari episode, when they introduce her, yeah, they have her do strange things. When she's hypnotizing Tatsumi, first he sort of has her beat the crap out of himself, and then he does the most unusual thing possible. The succubus who was introduced in the last episode, Yukari has Tatsumi pull down this woman's panties right in front of Maka. Even Maka realizes, though, yeah, this is not his normal self doing this. And how she's causing him to do this? Voodoo. Voodoo magic. Take a piece of his hair, a piece of like straw, and that's how they do it. It's one of the most weirdest things. Yeah. Of course, the whole prejudice against witches thing, that's actually about a little bit later. Especially the whole Salem witch trials thing. Yeah, I'm not surprised about it, which is fine. Yeah. And pretty much when they have Missouri show up, yeah, they have her form ice crystals. Yeah, each one of these women, with the exception of Maka, start out as sort of antagonists toward the main character, and then later become good friends. Yeah, and all 5 of these women basically want to be with him. Yep. Not kidding about this, despite the fact he wants one of them. Despite the fact all 5 of these women want him. Maka, and this is a recurring gag both in this series and in the manga, do this. Seems like almost every day these two interact. Like, it's a recurring gag, happens once an episode. Maka, basically, when she first runs into Tatsumi, the first thing she does is she sucks his blood. A little bit, like a little sip. Yeah, she loves drinking his blood. Not kidding about that. She really does that almost every episode. Also, her transformation sequence when she transforms into her inner self. Yeah, for some reason, they have these very weird sound effects that kind of like a transformation where, and they have a close up of her, and then they have a close up of her chest, and they have her, well, her hair turned sparkling white. And that's the inner Maka. That's the inner Maka, where she's bloodthirsty, and yeah, it's particularly very weird. Yeah, and I gotta say, for what they adapted from the manga, was actually adding characters, putting characters in this particular arc, so we're not actually in the original arcs. They do a pretty good job, despite the fact some of the stuff is actually kind of filler, but it's fine. And I gotta say, aside from additional characters who are actually not in these original arcs, at least there's not much of alteration. No, I think there's maybe some minor alteration in forms of dialogue. But in the case of, with the exception of episode 4, which is a filler episode, mind you, wherever I think Tatsumi is going to leave, nope. The only reason why he's at the bus stop is not to leave the academy, but to send letters to his family. And he asked the bus driver to do it for him, and he has no problem doing it at all. In case you're curious, though, what in the world do these characters look like? Well, looking if I have one of the books here. Yeah, these are all the characters. That's Tatsumi in the middle. Mocha is the pink hair one. Kanumi is that one right there. Yuriki is the little girl. Misery is at the ground. Ruby is basically here in the background. And this is what Maka's inner form looks like. Yeah, she looks like that. And when they had season 2 start out, this was the cover they had for volume 1. Yeah. Now, the story arcs they adapt here, basically now the introduction arc for this particular season, the start of the anti-school arc, basically the first couple chapters of it, the Witch's Knoll arc, which is done in about 2 episodes. Yeah, surprisingly, 2 episodes to do Witch's Knoll. And the Security Council. They basically adapt loosely almost the entirety of the first 3 arcs of the manga in just 13 episodes. I gotta say, that's not too bad. Not bad at all. Oh, I should also point out, though, when this anime first started, it actually started 1 year after the original manga ended. Yep. So I kind of think, though, okay, maybe I have a little more time to adapt the manga. And this is actually one of 2 I can think of where they actually started an anime based on a manga, and the original manga has already ended. The only one I've heard actually has done this is Blade of the Immortal, which I haven't had a chance to finish reading the manga yet, and I haven't seen the anime yet, so there's that. And I love the fight sequences in here, despite the fact, yes, there's some fan service, a little bit of vampires. At least not like half the characters are vampires, like roughly in just 13 episodes. Aside from Maka, there is like no other vampires. The other monsters are so bizarre, like there's lizard people, there is a half woman, half snake woman, a cat woman. Yeah, a woman turns into a cat. Of course, there's a couple witches, a succubus, a snow girl. There is a demon that, well, the leader of the Security Council, yeah, which, these guys, oh boy, did I not care for these guys at all. Yeah, a bunch of self-righteous jerks, and that's how they're written. Yeah, they apparently torture people for information. Yes. Now, this is all Monster World. If this was in Human World, any information they got from physical torture would be inadmissible in court, especially since they actually even beat up some people. Heck, they even tortured Maka with water. Yeah. As what happened to the head of the security group, I am very happy what happened to him. He got beaten the crap out of him by Maka. Though first time, basically, she was kind of weak, though, thanks to Geen the werewolf, which when he was first introduced, yeah, they also had this thing about a peeping Tom. And Tatsumi got briefly accused of it, and then it turns out that he was actually the one all along, and he got chased around by women, not because they want him, like to be with him. They did it so they can beat the crap out of him being a pervert. Yep, Ian Sinclair versus a pervert. voices a pervert. One of two I can think of he's actually done this for, where he voices a character who is a pervert. The only one I can think of he does this for is Brooke. But I love Brooke, but at least he doesn't do it all the frickin' time. He does like once or twice with the entire One Piece series. Here he does like almost all the time you see him. He's like, whenever he's not with the newspaper group, he's up taking pictures of girls in locker rooms. That's seriously what the guy does. Even after they found that he's a peeping Tom, he's still peeping. Not kidding about this. Let's see. Yonaguni basically, when the episode it was basically kind of like a comedy episode. Yeah, and we had this other group who was sort of a rival newspaper started by the security committee, which this security committee apparently shut down all clubs are basically under their power. I'm like, seriously? Just because you think they're a threat to them, you shut them down? And some of these groups, actually according to like classical literature, Japanese tea, these sound like really good groups. Why the heck would you shut them down for? Perfectly fine groups. And yet, apparently, people joining them apparently was a big threat. Like, oh, they're going to be one big group on campus. Let's be the security council. A bunch of corrupt bureaucrats. And I think as far as I know, this group was eventually disbanded. Due to all the corruption and the fact that their leader got the crap beaten out of him by a vampire. Yep. But this overall was a fantastic season. I love it. I really do. Next season is, of course, under a different name. It's called Rosario plus Vampire Kapu 2. That is simply what it's called. Now, it's going to take me a little while to figure out exactly like what chapters were adapted for season 2. But I kind of did slowly figure out exactly like what was adapted for season 1. And I gotta say, it's not bad at all. It's close to the first half because the original series was 40 chapters. And of course, second series, 6 chapters. From what I can tell, I think they did also start adapting stuff from Season 2. I'm not sure what they adapted from Season 2. But apparently they decided probably not to adapt the... From what I can tell, they didn't adapt the anti-schoolers arc at all. No, they didn't. Yeah, for some reason, I have no idea why they did this for. Yeah, for some reason they chose not to adapt the anti-schooler arc, which took up pretty much a majority of the second half of the original manga. They did, from what I can tell, they did adapt for the second season. They did kind of adapt the final arc, the school festival. Yeah, they kind of adapted that for the start of season 2. That's what it looks like. But I'll find out more when I get a chance to look at the season 2. Okay? So that's it for this particular review. Now tomorrow I'm going to do a review of not only season 2. I was thinking of doing a review for... I'm probably going to do Fairy Tail next. I'll watch this newest episode of Fairy Tail, do my review of it, and that'll be my last video to do tonight. But tomorrow I'll do a review of Rosario vs. Vampire Season 2, Black Clover, because I know a new episode's coming out tomorrow, Tokyo Ghoul, providing the fact this new episode will come out because last week's episode was never uploaded from the site I use, and 7 Deadly Sins. So expect about 4 videos tomorrow. But until you see the next video, bye.